Hello.
I have all the power. We're live.
Yay.
We are on the NetKitty stream once again.
Kneel before Netcat 144.
So, Book of Boba Fett, Episode 5. I think that most people watching this, if they're coming from Twitter, have an idea about what I think. And anyone who watched the video that I just premiered a bit ago knows exactly what I think of this episode.
They're
So,
at least
I'll
general idea. Yeah.
So I will just lead with a general statement of I thought that this episode was a maybe passable episode of Mandalorian and a shit episode of Book of Boba Fett. And
This is the best
it
episode
has-
of the Mandalorian come out lately. That's
maybe lately, but honestly, there were better episodes of Mandalorian.
no clearly.
I enjoyed it though.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
the problem wasn't it was available. Again, that it's inconsistent with the rest of the show that it's a part of.
I would like to
Right.
be clear. There was a lot to enjoy in this episode.
Yep.
But there were a lot of problems with it as well if you step back and think about what's being presented. My first time that I watched it, I was too confused, not confused, I was too wrapped up in trying to figure out how it actually related to Book of Boba Fett that I didn't notice a lot of the problems that I saw the second time that I watched it. The second time that I watched it, when I stopped trying to think about how to connect it, that's when I saw the problem.
I have to mute here for a moment. Just
Okay. But honestly, my first watch through, I actually didn't see a lot of the problems that I saw my second time through, largely because I was distracted thinking about how to connect it. But when I say that it was a bad or shit episode, no one should take that as there's nothing to enjoy in it, because there's always something to enjoy in things. It's just I don't think it was a good episode. But guys, I like watching the Dungeons and Dragons movie. That's a shit movie. It's
I know.
fun.
And I'm someone who likes Big Trouble in Little China. That movie makes
I haven't
0 sense.
I
But
haven't seen that in forever, but I remember it being great. But yeah. So when I say something's shit, that doesn't always mean that it's not enjoyable.
Yeah, you're talking to a guy who likes Star Wars Rebels with all of its inconsistencies.
I still haven't gotten through Clone Wars, so I'm not even 2 Rebels.
When I restart the marathon with CT, maybe you could join in with us.
Probably not.
We'll do it. I usually do it like once a week arc, so it's not like the whole thing straight through. You know.
I know, but I just have so little interest.
Yeah, believe me, I do. But yeah, with with this particular episode, it's like let's say how the book of Boba Fett was a book, and Mandalorian is a different book. It's like another book series, and they feature in character heavily in a good portion of this book is just about this character from another book series. And when did it shift focus?
Yeah, not just shift focus. It shifted. It's like you grafted possibly even the best chapter from another book into this book.
Yeah, my point is this. This is my big. It makes me wonder that the last 2 episodes, if Boba's shafted fully, and by shafted I mean like he's literally going to, like he was in Mandalorian, where he was just kind of like a supporting character.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, if the last 2 episodes relegated him as a supporting character, just because to show him like, oh, we gotta have a whole bunch of focus on him. It kind of makes me worried for the next 2 episodes.
Yeah, because they put so much into reminding us about Din Djarin that if
Yeah, and
it goes back to being mostly on Boba Fett, I mean, this actually is something that hadn't quite occurred to me. But if it actually goes back to being into focusing on Boba Fett, that's actually going to be jarring in its own way because they just spent so long making sure that we remember Din Djarin that if he's not a major player in the next two episodes, then that's going to be jarring by itself, and that's another problem.
It's like a book. Percent of the book.
Yeah,
is Boba Fett. 25 is the Mando, and the last 25 is going to be about Boba Fett. And you're like, this whole portion makes no sense in the book.
Yeah, that's like, did this episode steal the thunder from the rest of Boba Fett?
Yeah,
It never had much thunder to be.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it was slow play as it was.
Yeah. I would actually say yes. With the way that everyone has been praising this episode so much more than every other episode, I think that it already has stolen the thunder. And that's part of what's been bothering me, I think.
Yeah. With Book of Boba Fett be making a show that's about Boba.
Yeah.
So like you asked the question now, like, is this still about Boba Fett, or is it just going to completely shift focus? That's going to be a featured.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's obviously going to be about Boba Fett, and this was their sad attempt to bridge the two series together in the same timeline universe.
Yeah, but it wasn't necessary. Is my point.
Yeah, exactly. Right, but I mean, keep in mind that there's a lot of new fans, and they do realize this.
Okay, well, here's the thing for those new fans. There are 2 seasons of Mandalorian for you to watch. All episodes available. Hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
This
Binge
is
an
marketing.
entire season in a day.
But this is marketing. This is what they're doing.
Yeah.
If there's marketing employees go, this is like really easy. Like really.
And not only
lazy.
that, but they knew. Okay, so if you were a marketer and you wanted to create buzz over Boba Fett, that was a slow starter. What would you do to animate the base on both sides?
Mm-hmm.
You would put something like this in.
I would make the episode feature Din Djarin, and I would actually put the main star Boba Fett in about him.
Yeah.
Actually, here's what, if they wanted to put Din Djarin in like they're doing, here's what I would prefer to do. Have Fennec actually come and do the end part of this episode the same way that she did, but have it be the start of the episode where she comes in and she hires him to be muscle. And then in Mandalorian, the premiere, it says however much time earlier, and then it shows everything that led up to that. Because,
I don't know
because nothing that we just saw was needed for Book of Boba Fett.
Right.
But
That's true.
But they can connect the two shows by having Din hired here. But then,
it's like you were saying, they could have easily first episode
in the season premiere here, or then show all the stuff that led up to it, and that would actually connect it on both ends.
Sorry.
You have to understand the mentality that they're catering to.
I actually,
you know what I'm talking
about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is let's make it so simple.
I'm back.
That an
SCT.
8 or 9-year-old could get it. So let's overly explain things.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yep.
No, you've got a point there. Obviously, my point is I actually agree with Nat. I feel like if we're gonna do like a flashback, because nobody's bored with Din It's at least as far as casual Star Wars fans are concerned.
No.
Nobody is bored. They're begging content about this, especially since he lost, he doesn't have ground anymore. He's going to be a bit harder for him. They could have easily flashback, like you said, in the premiere of Mandalorian season 3. That would have explained going before he met Boba Fett, and then you get a recap.
They could also have done a flashback from Boba, an immediate at the same time. Boba could. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. What I'm saying is
the only way that would work is if Mandalorian season 3 was premiering around this book of. If premiering around the same time, then I could see an absolute right then and there done. But because it's not like that, because they're doing it one show at a time. I think if you've got plenty Star Wars content, you can get that out there. I'm not saying rush it. Obviously have this going. But you're gonna do like that because look, man. They've got 4 or 5 shows going at once.
Yeah, look at episode. I think episode 6 is going to start with the closing scene of 5. And
that's going to be in the recap in general. Dad's worry about that.
But I think that episode 6 will start with him going to Boba. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's neat is that Joe and I were making predictions. Now Joe's kind of he's kind of regretting his initial post, thinking that Husk and Cad Bane are appear heavily in the last 3 episodes of the season. He was hoping because I made a joke too. He was talking about how I don't think Luke Skywalker is going to next episode look at Boba Fett. And I'm like, just you wait. The beginning episode of the beginning of the book of Boba. The book is literally Din visiting Grogu with Luke there.
Yeah.
That was the joke. The joke I made.
Yeah.
I sort of want to argue that maybe the show would be improved if you just sort of kind of start with the flashbacks first here,
that's kind of what they did.
Actually, I'd like to pull back for a sec, and since CT I think liked this particular episode more than the 3 of us did, I'd like to ask CT, what do you think was done well in this episode?
I never said I didn't like it.
Well, you seem to agree with me more than not, so I was assuming.
Yeah, no, I'm interested. I'm also interested to hear CT's take.
Yeah, what do you have to say about it, man?
Well, I kind of love
there's nothing bad, by the way. Just know that there's no judgment. I'd like to actually hear what
you like about the episode.
Well, I kind of loved that, there was we got to see a space station that was obviously a reference to Halo in a way. The Halo
actually,
ring.
yes.
I pointed that out
really
to
like
my brother. It's like, Brendan, look. He goes,
yeah.
Oh, Halo.
And CT, since you didn't actually see my video, you wouldn't know this. Of all the stuff that I was saying, most of it was negative. I actually took a moment to say that we come up on this ring world / city, and this was actually pretty good. This was actually pretty damn cool. So for everything that I was saying negative, I actually made a point of stepping back and saying that I thought was good. So I 100% agree with you there. I really like the Ring City.
That was awesome. That was good.
Always had an idea of a crossover of Halo and Star Wars, but I don't know if there's always a possibility of a.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of Halo. I just thought it looked really damn cool.
Yeah, I did too. Did you like? Hey, CT, did you like the reverse gravity of the ring to where they had 2 side cities to where you could walk? You know what I mean? You had the reverse gravity, so the city on the inner ring was just had just the right amount of gravity, just like the outer ring.
Ryan,
That was
Well,
cool.
I mean, I didn't sort of kind of see where the gravity sort of kind of affects things. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
because
the
when
episode or
they showed the shot of the ring, you saw two sides of it, and there was metropolises on both sides. I appreciated that.
Yeah, that was cool.
okay,
Which also kind of showed that they were actually generating the gravity rather than using centripetal foot and force to do it. So that was
Yeah.
kind of interesting too.
Yeah.
Now that
using
I
some
think about
actual
it,
science.
Yes.
well, science would also be if they were using centripetal force. What this kind of shows is that they actually do have gravity generators.
Yes.
So,
Well,
it's
they've
science
had
on either
gravity
end.
generators in Star Wars for years. They have them aboard starships in general. So
Well, not so. Kind of my point is that they're showing more that they have the control to make
Yeah.
the interdictor starships.
Yes,
Because-
on a massive because on the starships, smaller matter.
Yeah. And so-
But when you talk about the grandiose and the size of the ring,
Yeah, so this is kind of more on the level of what you'd need to make, in my opinion at least. This is not any sort of objective, just my opinion on what would be needed. This is more on the order of what would be needed to make an interdictor starship and the gravity wells that they can make. That's the level that they actually need to be able to generate to make this kind of thing work.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Same thing.
Oh, cool. I wasn't the only one who was thinking that.
Hey, CT, anything else?
Well, I sort of kind of really like that the fact of the idea of the dark saber sort of kind of having some different effect on the user here.
Yeah.
that was, and I know Nets hasn't seen it, but that was a concept that was introduced as far back as Rebels.
Right.
Is
I was
when
okay.
when
I'd actually like to mention that Padawan actually sent me a video that was talking about the Darksaber in particular, and I finally got something that would tell me something more about the Darksaber than it's just a lightsaber that's dark. Because up until this video, that's all anyone would ever fucking tell me, that it's a lightsaber.
seriously gave you any.
Well,
Yeah.
it is obviously
I
supposed
keep
to be
on
some sort of
asking,
saber
and
that's
people
black.
keep on
I mean,
telling me
dark.
that it's very special to the Mandalorians, and then in the next sentence, it's a lightsaber that's black, and that's all I was told.
yeah.
This
No,
video
it-
actually gave me some of the stuff from Rebels that I think you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think the people that were telling you that only gave you that vague bit of information were like, you gotta watch it to find out. They were trying to tell you to watch it.
No, they weren't, because they knew
Yeah,
I
they
wasn't going to.
they kind of were if they were being vague on the details, because there's keep in mind
no,
there's
Yeah,
a
but
risk.
if they know Net,
no.
he likes he likes details.
Here's the thing. These are people that knew that I had no intention of watching and was asking for a TLDR,
Right.
and that's all they were telling me.
And the
I mean,
origins are
give me
really
a break.
interesting. Yeah, the origins are really interesting on the dark saber, especially who forged it. Isn't that right, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not so much the
The video that I just watched today actually gave me some details.
Again,
That-
it's not so
that-
much
that
the
was
forger;
interesting.
it's the importance of the wielding. It was
Yeah.
basically like Tar Vizsla was the first Jedi Mandalorian. He used it to unite all the clans under his banner. It was like Mandalore Glorious or something. I can't even remember the name of it because there's been a lot of Mandalores. But in particular, the whole point of the saber is that it was a symbol. And anybody who uses a lightsaber in general, even if you don't have a strong connection to the Force, you can still connect with the blade, and it wouldn't be as heavy because you kind of accept the responsibility and the importance of what it is, which basically that in particular is the symbol of Mandalore itself.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't like the idea of the crystals being more than crystals.
Yeah.
Every
They
time
were
I
kind
hear
of
about
that in the EU though. It's more disposable.
Okay, now so here's the thing. In the comics, this is the difference between comics and the novels. The comics are kind of all over the place about how lightsabers work, from what I've been able to see. The
I'm not even
novels,
just talk comics.
I know, but
Talking about stuff about
typically
KOTOR and the crystal is the heart of the blade from the old Clone Wars cartoon.
it's still I do you remember that I don't like the old Clone Wars cartoon either?
Really? I did not know that. That is something new I'm learning.
Well, I mean, you kind of explain it to me here.
Again, this is, and keep in mind the EU has done things to irk me too, like the concept of gray Jedi. Like, I do concede to Netsy's point that is possible for an individual to go. It's just not possible for them to stay there.
It's possible, but you would need somebody on the level of Jesus, practically.
If somebody's on the level of Jesus, they ain't in the gray, they in the light, like full force.
Yeah. Well, I always equate it to the yin and the yang.
What I'm trying to say is that you need somebody who is so goddamn exceptional to be able to actually straddle it indefinitely. Not necessarily Jesus, but Buddha or whatever.
Yeah.
You're basically talking about a deity that's so powerful in the Force that like
Force
I can
God.
use dark side and light side without consequence. Which I believe only a deity could do, which is why I have such little issue with the Father in
and
the Lord is not from the Clone Wars.
And not so. Let me propose something. Let's say that a mortal managed to do it, they would probably rise to deity status.
Yeah, in this lore.
Well, is there a problem with having like some sort of Herculean, thing in Star Wars, or?
Ooh, also I think the closest Jedi that I can think of that almost pretty much attained that was Qui-Gon, because he was chosen to become the voice of the Force.
No, Qui-Gon was straight light, Dad.
I actually agree with Natso on this. That he was light. It's just that he rejected
even in the new canon, like Freddie Prinze Jr. References a quote from like one of Qui-Gon's books. He says, "I turned to the light because it's there."
If you want to get agreement from me, Natso, I would suggest not quoting Freddie Prinze.
Again, I don't agree with him on a lot of things. But
I'm just saying it's a tainted source.
There's no gray. That's pretend fan fiction.
It's a tainted source to use Freddie Prinze.
No, I agree. By that logic, so is Filoni. But yeah, again, I agree. But
or even worse, Kathleen Kennedy.
She knows nothing about what she has. She's just letting other people handle it, so she doesn't have to.
Kathleen Kennedy is the Kamala Harris of Star Wars Disney.
Okay, guys, I've said this elsewhere.
I've
actually said it on live stream.
But Dave only gave us.
Kathleen Kennedy is not the problem.
No,
the problem is in the story group. That is where the
Leland
cancer
Sheep,
lies.
Pablo Hidalgo, Matt Martin.
Yeah, the
how much
group
influence
is where the cancer lies. Now, if you want to tell me that the reason they became cancerous was because Kathleen Kennedy he influenced them with money, then maybe I'll actually agree about Kathleen Kennedy. If
and Ruin Johnson too.
Let's just keep it
no.
All right, come on,
No,
please.
no, actually, JG, Ryan Johnson actually asked the story group whether or not the Holdo maneuver would break canon. Pablo fucking Hidalgo told him that it wasn't a problem. Okayed it.
Yeah.
Well, Pablo had his head up his butt then, or something.
Yes, the story group is the cancer.
Keep in mind, Pablo made a great book in the form of the Essential Reader's Companion, and
I still have a hard time believing that.
It's hard to believe.
You think Leland Chi was a ghostwriter for it?
I mean, but also what about Dave Filoni himself as well? I mean,
I don't.
I was
Filoni.
talking to Joe about this. I feel like Filoni didn't study the EU back in the day. I feel like he's studying it now and realizing what he fucked up, and now he's trying his best to try and fix it.
It's
He
like
retcons
fixing
his own material, for the love of
Yes,
God.
he does. Yes, he does.
It's not just other stuff in the EU. He retcons his own stuff. He has a fetish for retconning. I don't know what it is. If he could act, if there were to be a story group that would actually ride herd on him, he might actually be good. Because there's a lot of stuff
you can't do that.
There's a lot of stuff in the Clone Wars from what you guys have shown me and that I've seen that is good. So I believe in his talent. And for all the people that might think that I don't, no, I think he's talented. I think that he needs to have people to ride herd on him. And the story group is unable to ride herd on anyone because they have become spineless jackasses that don't understand the need to actually maintain consistency. And that is the cancer that is in Lucasfilm. It is not Kathleen Kennedy.
They hired
J. Abrams. It is not Ryan Johnson. It is
they
Pablo
hired
Hidalgo and everyone else on the story group.
So you're saying that they hired yes men? They hired yes men,
or turned them into yes men?
Hire yes men, Dad. These guys have been with the company for years.
Because
so
apparently Pablo Hidalgo used to be good. They turned him into a yes man. I don't know how, but they did.
Yeah.
The person who committed the grievous sin, as far as I'm concerned, is still Leland Chi, because that dude kept the history.
Yeah.
No, but Dad, even if they got rid of Kathleen Kennedy, even if they got rid of her, the problem, like Ned said, the problem wouldn't go away.
Oh, she's not the problem anymore now.
She never was. That's the point.
But she's not even. She's not even close now.
If she caused the corruption in the story group, then she's the problem.
Yeah,
I don't know what caused the corruption. And
I'm telling you what caused the corruption in the story group. It was laziness and money.
No,
that's it.
No, but if that were the case, it could have happened earlier. But what I'm saying is that something caused it. I'm not willing to say Kathleen Kennedy did, but I'm saying that if
it's a possibility,
if it was her, then she is the problem. But only if she was the reason for it. The story group's cancer is what caused all of the problems that we have now.
Right, and Kathleen Kennedy is more removed from the creative process because she's an executive producer, which basically means that she owns the beautiful car, but she can't drive it and she doesn't have the keys. So she's not even an issue.
I would say this because I feel like she has the position Lucas had back when the Clone Wars was still going W1.
Yeah.
Where like for the first 3 seasons he was pretty much there. For the latter seasons, he would pretty much just check in once a week, go, "Hey, okay, how's it going?"
Yep.
And then he'd leave after they told him like, "Oh yeah, we're doing this. So, okay.
Yep.
I feel like that's her job now. Is she literally just walks in and says, "Hey, how's the stories going? How's this going?" They're like, "Oh," and he's like, "What do you think about this?" It's like, "Oh, I like that. That sounds good." And then she leaves and goes read like corporate business reports or some shit like that.
Yeah, so she's checked out of the creative process. She's just cashing those checks.
By the way, do you guys have any clue how weird this feels for me to be defending Kathleen Kennedy?
I know. But I told Nazo 2 years ago. I told Nazo over 2 years ago that this was going to happen to Kennedy, to where she'd be pushed out to maybe an executive producer, where she would, and the exact thing happened.
Well, she's not just an executive producer; she's the head of the company.
Right. Yeah, but you know as well as I do that CEOs and presidents don't know half of what goes on in companies. They see numbers, and if they look good, they get paid.
George
And at
Lucas
this
was
point-
kind of the exception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he was actually making
He was a creator.
counter. Well, one thing with George Lucas is that he was actually trying to make something that was going against the Hollywood narrative.
Yeah.
He was trying to make his own thing. That's what the Skywalker Ranch was all about.
Right.
So he actually was trying to make something.
Yep.
And that's almost the thing that's so terrible about Disney having bought it, because he was trying to make a narrative that went against Hollywood.
Right.
I'm not as well versed in this as a lot of other people are.
What was this narrative against Hollywood really about?
Well, here's the thing, George. He was an independent, and even today, what Oceophile said, he was even today like an independent film director. Nothing in the prequels or even the I mean, it may look like it has Hollywood budget, but nothing in the original 6 Star Wars films is Hollywood at all.
Yep.
It was literally just George writing stories like he's done for years.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it was. Like nobody, like there were very few people, like maybe like 1 or 2 people at like Fox Studios that actually believed in him, that actually thought this guy could make something great. It was, and those people actually ended like complained at, like if I don't know if you ever seen the documentary Empire of Dreams. They got complained at by like studio execs and shit like that.
I love that documentary. That was great.
It's been a while since I've seen it. I need to watch it again.
Is it on Disney Plus or?
It's on Disney Plus. Look up Star Wars Empire of Dreams.
Yeah.
And it's literally the rise of George Lucas.
Yeah.
Are you
here's
sure
the other
there,
thing,
or
too.
are you just assuming? Because if you're just assuming that, I'm going to look to be sure. Because the way that I have it is I've got it in my DVD collection.
No, I've seen it on Disney Plus.
Oh, cool.
So unless they took it off, it should still be there.
I'm still going to just check. I've got the app up right now.
There you go.
Yep.
Because I remember
there.
looking at
It's right there.
documentary stuff.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and I remember looking at documentary stuff, and I'm like, oh, cool, I remember this one. They have Empire of Dreams up there.
Exactly.
Yep, it's right there. It's right there. They're not hiding it. Cool.
You can easily watch it on Disney Plus, obviously.
Yeah, but again, about how George Lucas was against Hollywood here. Can we go back to that? I mean,
a bunch of people, including Disney, turned him down.
Yeah.
And they had the Golden Goose. That's so happy they acquired it. Now
it's not so much that he's against Hollywood; it's that he was for independent creation.
Yes.
And he wanted, and he saw, and if I remember correctly, it said he was seeing too much homogenized stuff from Hollywood, too many things that Hollywood was.
Keep in mind, we're talking about a guy who his literal original clothes, and he's shown a Hollywood boardwalk like this before, wearing a plaid button up, blue jeans, and sneakers.
Yeah,
the most basic dude clothes in the 50s and 40s and 40s could get.
But he just really didn't. It was looking at Hollywood as kind of conformity and things like that, and going, no, I want to make independent films, but I want to make them on a larger scale. So instead of just making one production, he was trying to, and he made a almost alternative Hollywood with the Skywalker Ranch. I mean, he did the Indiana Jones movies with Lucasfilm as well. It's not just Star Wars.
Oh yeah, no, there was.
I know.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones movies.
No, exactly. So I was trying to point out that Skywalker Ranch isn't just about Star Wars, and this was what he was trying to do. Not so much that he was trying to overtake Hollywood, but that this was supposed to be a outside of Hollywood environment. And then when Disney bought him, that kind of disappeared because Disney went, okay, yep, back into Hollywood we go.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. And keep in mind that George Lucas is the one that started all this. All like the first 3 episodes ever, not the numbered ones, but the originals. Those are all in his head before he even did this. That's how creative he is.
How close are JG and Natsu physically right now?
He's literally right behind me. I was wondering if you noticed an echo effect.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
the echo,
there's
and I
definitely
was
an
also
echo.
watching the circles.
Sorry
on
about that.
both of you.
I'm gonna step out of the room. It's gonna kill my battery, but I'm gonna step out.
Sorry, I just thought I'd point it out. Sorry.
I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. It's a problem.
Yeah, like anything, when you pass it through multiple hands, a lot changes, and I think that's what we have here with this.
Yeah.
right. But I mean, is it really a sort of kind of bad thing, or I mean,
It's always a bad thing when. Well, I'd say that it's always a bad thing when a independent voice is squished.
Yeah, I think that's
Just in
creativity and creativity in marketing is a slippery slope because marketing is all about how much juice can you squeeze out of this orange, and creativity is this orange goes on longer than you think it is, but it's not willing to give you all the juice right now. So,
yeah,
it's best to just get a little now, and then you'll get a little more later each time.
right?
It takes time, patience. Now, Hollywood and Disney, these are the type of people that want to squeeze the orange for all it's worth right now, and they're going to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. And guess what? The juice they're going to get is like it'll be real good, real quick, but then it'll start to rise more and more, and just be like a flat, disgusting orange that nobody wants anymore.
Right.
yeah.
I mean,
you know,
and again,
Star Wars has its merits, even on the later ones, after the first 6. You know, it does have some merits. There's some things that, like we were discussing, retcons like crazy, and that's just lack of creativity in certain historical ways.
Okay,
I think
actually, here's the thing. I don't actually think it's lack of creativity. I mean, maybe, but
yeah.
I say this, and it's gonna come out sounding snarky because I know it does.
Yeah.
Because Filoni, from what I'm seeing, actually does have a obsession with retconning. I mean, to the point that I don't understand why he would do it.
Yeah.
It's not a lack of creativity because he doesn't seem to need to do it, is the thing.
Yeah.
But he still does it.
But the retcons
and it doesn't seem to be a lack of creativity. It's just that he seems to want to do it, and that's why I say that he has a thing for wanting to do it.
Now
and I don't get it.
The whole retconning. What is most of it focused on? Is it focused on pre-Disney to match?
No. He actually retconned the race of the Rancor.
Oh,
the race of the Rancor.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, he changed the sex of the Rancor to female.
Oh, you mean Jabba's Rancor?
Yeah.
What?
Why?
In Book of Boba?
You're talking. He's talking about Bad Batch.
No, in Bad Batch. He did that in Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Oh.
He retconned that. He retconned the sex of that Rancor. And again, I mean, that could have been a debate if or female, but I don't want to get into that. But
but why?
I don't know. My biggest issue with Filoni. This is my biggest issue is it is the retcons, but also like the fact that like you set up these parameters and you're telling me to retcon them, you work within your own parameters.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really respect authors that can work in when authors get when they're told do this because it would contradict story that's already written, they're like, okay, I got to think of something else that it actually forces them to be creative on keep continuity and do their own thing at the same time. Filoni apparently just cons the things. He just cons them, so he doesn't have to actually use creative juices in that way.
Okay, I am going to monologue for a moment here.
All right.
Before you do that.
Before I do, I'm listening. Okay. Then never mind. And, okay, my monologue. One of the things that I saw that it was put out about the EU right near the beginning about how special this was. And the EU was special because as it was a universe where many authors came and participated in the same universe and exercised their abilities in writing to write in a universe that continued with everyone else, and everything in this expanded universe affected everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the important thing. That's what made this diverse. That's what the tier list was about. That's what this wasn't all just fan fiction. This was this was a actual universe that we were creating, and that's what made this special. And that is what made it special to me. That this huge universe with all these authors respected each other's contributions to it. I mean, there would be the occasional misstep where there would be a little thing that contradicted a little thing here, but overall, people they actually had people read them that was paying attention to it, and when there was anything major, they pointed out and they fixed it. This is what made the expanded universe special.
They, in other words, made a conscious effort not to contradict each other. Talked to each other. They worked with each other.
Yeah.
I remember too. Even a couple of authors get like I think I heard this story, but like it was like Troy Denning. I heard it from Hawkins, but it was like Troy Denning, who was like friends with like I think was it Dover, and Troy said he actually got a little annoyed with Matthew because he would call him every night like, oh, maybe I can do this, and it obviously wasn't annoyed like I hate you. It was annoyed like, okay, just make sure we know about what changes you're making so that everybody else can work around it.
Right.
Yep. Exactly.
Continuity.
But after Disney took charge, they had to make the story group to make sure that they had continuity because we didn't have any possibility of that before Disney. But they actually did.
Yes.
And it was primarily one guy did it, Leland G. He was like the guy for it.
There was actually a committee that actually talked to them.
Yeah. But
there was
that
more than one
denotes
person. There were like 4 or 5 people.
Oh, again, Flo was there. Flo was there too because anytime somebody had a question, they put it in a Star Wars magazine. They'd ask, "Oh, what about this? Why wasn't this mentioned in here?" And he actually answered the questions. He was like, "Well, that was kind of a surprise. That's why we didn't talk about it. Talk about a particular book."
yeah. Now
Mhm.
and that what you're from your monologue, it kind of reinforced my thoughts that if the creativity's there and all the other things are there and the collaboration is there, basically there's a decision made. My concern is that all the retconning and all the changes to me would make you believe that it's on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's deliberate.
It feels if it is, and that actually makes me feel bad for Ding. Like,
Bad
and
for
I don't. Well, here's the thing. I feel bad for Disney fans in this respect. Even though the E not still going, we have a solid goodie. We have like retcons that worked. We have connections from different authors. We have all operation that worked together, even as far as like side guidebooks from strategy games. There was a fucking EU story in a Prima guide. All right, let me just get that to you. In a Prima guide, there was a short EU perspective. All right, and
That's cool.
with Disney fans, there's constant retconning, disjointed continuity. None of the authors are willing to like talk to each other and work within that. I think the only people that like the closest to that sort of relationship are the people in the High Republic, but that's only because they worked so well. That's literally the only I'm aware of that didn't make any sort of bitchings because like Bad Batch contradicts, even though it's kind of a minor contradiction, minor retcon, contradicts the Kanan comic. Even Joe has commented that, and these are minor retcons, but they don't even time to fix the minor retcons. In a sense, that's what.
And honestly, I knew about that retcon when I was talking about the floaty retcons. But the thing is that since I hadn't read that one, I only knew about that one kind of secondhand. That's why I didn't use that instead.
Well, I got the
Rancor
information. No, it was like a difference between a night and day cycle, a difference between a clone true armor, a difference between a lightsaber color.
It was pretty clear differences from what I'd seen. This is why it just wasn't as clear to me as the Rancor thing.
But this is why I feel bad for Disney fans is because like you've got content, but you will never have a solid continuity unless the story group gets off their ass and does it.
Continuity, who cares?
Yeah, they like and when Matt Martin made that statement, even Matt Wilkins had like the best quote about this. Well, I guess I can completely, ignore anything Disney and just stick with this EU since that's my canon, my stories. So I'm like, oh.
May I interject something?
Go ahead.
But that again, that's
no, his turn.
Oh, sorry.
It's almost like their continuity fluid. Wait for it.
I got it.
Right.
Okay. So then now
I couldn't help myself.
Besides that, I actually liked The Force Awakens when I didn't expect to, and I was like, okay, they are making a new universe. I had decided to accept the split universe, and was like, okay, if they can make a new universe that's really cool, with their split timeline and keep it consistent because they got their story group, then this is going to be cool. Let's go for this. I was actually positive, whereas I wasn't before I saw the movie. I was like, I'll admit I was as negative Nancy before seeing it, but I saw it and was like, okay, this is good. Let's watch it. Let's keep it going. And if they had actually, yeah, continued on with consistency and stuff, I would not be where I am right now.
Would
But
not be
here,
where you are right now.
Yeah,
Well,
because thing is that I was prepared to say I loved the other timeline. Let's see what you're doing with this timeline. And I
Yeah.
actually had given my thumbs up to my first thing on this timeline, which was The Force Awakens. It
Mhm.
actually
there.
it had actually gotten my thumbs up. So, oh, oh, does that look like the thing that people say of it's not what you wanted? So it's terrible. No, I gave the thumbs up to the first thing on this timeline.
And
All
I'm
they had to do
sensing,
was keep going.
I'm sensing a but coming, or a however.
Well, the but is that the Jedi happened.
Retcon.
But
The biggest
yeah,
retcon.
nobody went into the new Star Wars. Nobody went into Disney Star Wars other than like straight up EU purists with certain like oh well this isn't George Lucas, I don't care. But like
Yeah.
nobody
Let's
went
not
into
name.
even I was like
Not to the. Do me a favor and do not name names, okay?
Yeah, don't name names. Yeah.
I'm not naming names. I'm not going to make that mistake again. The only thing I named names was the story group, and I've got no shame in naming them names.
Oh, they're fair
Name
game.
the
They're
story
fair
group.
game.
No. When I say don't name names, I mean don't name other YouTubers, Twitter.
No,
Yeah.
not again.
No.
Everybody
but-
that has to do with anything Star Wars during the creative process of working on it is fair game.
Yeah, that name names there. I'm just talking
that's
about
so,
our sphere.
I just want to take
That-
the minute to praise Kevin Scott because I wish he was in charge of the story group. That man
Yep.
probably would
That'd be cool.
continuity and consistency because he unlike the story group at this point seems to actually still give a crap.
And sorry for stopping you. I just wanted to.
No, obviously name names. But my point is nobody walked into this saying, "Oh, this is going to be awful." Everyone was like, "Oh, Disney's got Star Wars. They're going to create some awesome new stories. Can't wait to see what they're going to do."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there you go. There it is.
And then
what they did.
And then the cat threw up in the living room, and nobody wants to clean up the mess.
Yep.
You notice I referenced that just for your benefit, Nat.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my
And-
cat sitting in the corner says, "Bite me."
Bite me.
When he's clawing
Because
at the
he
garage door, Dad, because she wants to go
Because
there.
he knows you're going to clean it up. That's why. Your wife ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
No, but
the only-
yeah.
But like
That's
you
the
know,
only reason why women keep us around, to do the dirty jobs.
Actually, with the throw up part, she's more likely to do that than me.
Yeah.
where are your
See what I got?
balls, Matt?
Yeah, he
Oh,
just goes.
Actually, no.
He goes,
No, it's more that she'll do before I notice it's there.
Yeah. Oh, the worst thing is waking up and going to the bathroom with no hardly lights on and stepping in a bad place. Oh,
Now, mind you, if there's a spider, you know who gets to deal with it?
yeah.
Puke she'll deal with, but a spider.
Oh, wow. You're lucky, man.
I've gotten used to spiders. I just grab like a tissue, grab it, and toss it into the freaking toilet.
That's why I have work boots. Squish. And then clean it up.
Work boots are helpful.
But getting back to like Star Wars and the constantly evolving, I mean,
Sorry, CT.
Yes, yeah, sorry about that. But like
at this
people
point,
praise,
I'm just freeforming it, but I don't mind. I don't mind being drawn back. But yeah,
people praise, for example, people praise Ryan Johnson for doing something different, and in a sense, he did.
Yes.
But and he wasn't the first to do it.
Right.
KOTOR
okay,
2.
you just
Yes,
activated
you're gonna hear me say it.
KOTOR
It's
2.
lazy.
Not so
It's the
you-
lazy
you
poor
just
man's KOTOR 2.
activated something.
What
I don't
was it?
care if you took a risk. If you took a risk and you fucked up, then you deserve no praise. If you take a risk and you actually and you actually get that landing and you make it and you get it, then you deserve buco praise. But you get
Okay, well,
no
then,
praise if
then
you
Chris
take a
Avalo-
risk and you fail. You get nothing. Nothing.
There is
nothing.
there is no participation trophy in Star Wars. Sorry.
Nothing. No, you take a risk and you fail. You don't get anything. Nothing. I'm
Right.
sorry.
No,
nothing.
I know what Net's referencing. I'm a little surprised you didn't get the reference, Dad, because I know what he's referencing.
I may not get the reference either.
It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh yeah.
You get nothing.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, Matt, your mind is
Willy
your
Wonka?
mind-
Oh.
Yeah,
Matt's mind is.
the Gene Wilder one. That's
Yep.
You're like
nothing.
you're like a computer.
no. I'm just a device with useless information.
You get nothing, sir. Nothing.
Are you trying to say you're the human equivalent of a C-3PO?
If you're going to give credit where credit is due, then Chris Avalo definitely deserves it, because that dude managed to turn Star Wars on its head, but also explain why the things were there to begin with and improved upon them. Like all the tropes and everything, why they were there and improved upon them. Whereas Ryan Johnson was saying, I'm going to turn it on its head and then leave you with nothing.
No, you figure it out. You figure
You figure it out from me. You didn't even leave us guidelines? I mean, come on, man. How are we supposed to know the difference between good and evil now? You just
That's what he said to JJ. He said you figure it out to JJ.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You figure it out. You completely ruined my plan. Yep, you're welcome, buddy.
Oh, by the way, you signed off on this too. Oh, crap.
And do you guys? I'm assuming that at least Natso has seen me use one of the flamethrower gifts multiple times.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody talks about Last Jedi as opposed to Force Awakens, because what JJ did, and I'm not thrilled with what JJ did with leaving mystery boxes. That's not my favorite thing. But JJ left mystery boxes. What?
Yeah, and he tried
left
to.
you with something.
He
left you with something to think about.
But and then what Ryan Johnson did with that room full of mystery boxes was he opened the door, he took out his flamethrower, and then he pulled the trigger. He didn't bother opening them.
And then what did he had to do for episode 9 then?
No, that's the point, because then JJ was like, well, you just burned all my mystery boxes.
And
okay,
here's
now I need to actually pretend that a movie happened that didn't happen.
Yes.
Which, by the way, when I first watched the movie with my wife, the first thing I said was, "There's a movie that we missed." that was literally something I said to her in the theater.
What happened?
2 minutes into the movie, that there was a movie that we missed.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's because
That's lame too. The way.
As Ryan fucking Johnson and lit all of the mystery boxes on fire.
And JJ had to huddle together crappily. Like, for example, he had like legitimate answers behind everything. But now he has to. Okay,
not so. We assume No.
I'm kind of
just to be clear, we assume he had legitimate answers.
Again, I'm kind of joking. He had something behind those mystery boxes.
Yes,
and now that the mystery
you
boxes
said that they were legitimate, so I just had to say.
Okay, no, I'm again joking, as I said. But my point is, he had behind the mystery boxes, but because Ryan mystery boxes and the items that were inside, Jay had to glue little things to try and make. Oh, this was the answer to this, and this was the answer to this.
Yep.
It's like borrowing pieces from different puzzles and trying to put it together as one.
Yeah.
And here, here's a sad thing that on that point. They effed up. They don't get any praise for that.
Just a bit.
And there's some deliberate crap going on here. But the sad thing is, they didn't try to really fix it. Like, they screwed up. They knew it. And, yeah, we screwed up. Let's fix it. There was none of that.
Well, that's what they're trying to show. The problem with that being is like what you've put there. It's there. You can't change how big you fucked up. Okay, you can't.
Actually, here's something interesting that I've seen pointed out, and I kind of agree. Everything that they've been putting out, Bad Batch, Mandalorian, Boba Fett, all of that, it is in the Clone Wars era. Well, not Clone Wars era. Or,
before The Force Awakens, let's say.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I've actually got a bit of alcohol, so yeah. But basically everything is before the sequels. And this is 3 years after Return of Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. That shit show.
but this is exactly what I mean is, and by the way, they're fully intended.
But we haven't seen anything after Rise of Skywalker, have we?
There is one thing.
What?
It takes place 100 years, or not 100, but a couple hundred years after the Rise of Skywalker. It's called The Ninth Jedi.
You're
That
referring to Star Wars Visions here.
Yeah, that pilot episode from Visions, I learned from Joe, by the way, is
have
canon.
they actually made that canon?
I looked into it after Joe told me it was canon, just to be sure, and it is canon. The Ninth Jedi is canon.
Is it Disney canon?
Yeah,
oh my God!
Oh God!
Oh, actually, not so. Thank you. You have just given me my next thing that I'm looking at.
Oh, no. What have I done?
Oh no!
By the way, I'm one of the people that liked The Ninth Jedi because it reminded me of like Tales of the Jedi, so that's why I kind of gave it a pass.
Oh, it was one of the better things in Visions. But
oh yeah.
But what are you looking forward to, Ned?
But
I think that was the only good thing about it.
If this is actually canon, that colors some things I was thinking of, because you see, I have a only concept, mind you, but I'm intending to make a video about lightsabers in general, and that is.
Oh, you're talking about the inconsistencies with lightsabers and that.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was inspired by Visions overall.
Yep. You're talking about
and I never ended up doing that. But if Ninth Jedi is actually canon,
oh, you're gonna have fun.
Which I'm gonna need to rewatch it because it was one of the better ones of this. But I still had problems. I can't actually vocalize my problems to you right now because
You've got to rewatch the episode first.
Yeah, because I remember having some problems, but not like, oh my God, I want to kill things problems. If I had that kind of problem, I could tell you right now. because when I have problems that I just want to murder something, those don't just go away.
Yeah, no,
This is
there's in Visions. There's a few episodes I genuinely liked and liked to see more of. For example, I wanted to see a continuation to Ninth Jedi as like its own series because I wanted to see where that one would go. I wanted to see a continuation to what was
By the way,
first...
do not inscribe things into the blade of a lightsaber. The plasma blade of a lightsaber
You
should
mean
not.
you mean from the episode from Visions with the bunny Jedi?
Yes, that one. Don't do that.
Yeah, Lop and Ocho, I believe it was.
I
Yes,
actually liked that. But by the way, I liked that episode.
It sort of kind of confirms my idea of a Star Wars Utopia crossover in a way,
but
because of the bunny.
But just keep in mind that I remembered about the fact that they inscribed something into the blade of an ephemeral lightsaber.
Sorry. My big issue with Lop and Ocho was like
Flop.
That's the name of the bunny girl is named Lop.
You said that, yes, it's Lop. I heard you say flop.
No, I did. I should Flop and Ocho. Flop and Ochi or something like that.
That's
Flop and something. Anyway, the issue with that was like them passing down the lightsaber, and I get what you're saying about the weird inscription crap because that makes absolutely zero sense. But
if it was on the hilt, by the way, the hilt's fine.
Yeah, no, the hilt's fine.
It was on the.
It's in the blade.
It's on the blade was the problem.
The beam of
the tradition of passing it down, that seemed more like a Mandalorian thing than a Jedi thing.
It did, kind of.
But that's my big complaint about that.
No, but they were trying to make a samurai thing out of it, and
makes sense.
I'm okay with that. It's
I was for whatever reason I wasn't.
Can I also sort of kind of, have we sort of kind of discussed about, some people having, being, dicks to people for enjoying something though, or,
Well, yeah.
Well, I know you wanted to talk about what happened in that comment section, CT.
Right. If you want to, in general, feel free. I would really prefer it if you don't target
say names
anyone in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to. It's just like,
right. I won't say names, sir, but it's just that I sort of kind of got into an argument here with someone here, and they sort of kind of I'm trying to look back into the comments here with.
By the way, Mike, he doesn't hear anybody here.
See, okay, for my ground rules, if it's someone that you personally have had an argument with, that's fine.
Right.
I don't mind if you bring that up. I just don't want to be this person is bad. But if you have had a personal argument with someone, I don't mind you actually talking about your personal experience.
Right. Okay. So it's just that, I sort of kind of had the argument that, I'm trying to remember what it was about, but it's sort of kind of arguing that is everything, Disney woke all the time here. And a person sort of kind of replied to me that, with what I'm trying to describe in, what in his comment, what he said here, from what I'm reading off here is.
Are you discussing what happened in the Discord?
No,
he is not discussing what happened in the Discord. This is a different matter altogether.
Okay,
what happened in Discord is another matter, not entirely, but it is a good example of like an individual who took things too far, in my opinion.
Was it a DM, CT?
It wasn't a DM, Dad. He shared it with me. It was from a YouTube comment section.
Okay, I got you.
Because Dad, what you saw in I'm not going to say where you saw it. What you saw before so happened on Netflix Discord server a bit.
Oh, okay, the same thing, but yeah.
We're not going to say who or what or even where, because I don't want to go into details about it. Because that
Was it
again,
was it personal?
Personal to me in a way. I mean,
I saw the screenshots that CT sent me.
so
It was yeah.
Could I describe it here?
The
Or
Yeah.
Florida
No,
CP.
let him describe it.
If I have a problem, I will interrupt him, but I don't want anyone
Okay.
else to. Okay.
okay, I won't mention exactly a name here because obviously I don't want to sort of kind of get his attention if he's ever going to come across this YouTube or I mean I don't know. Anyways, all right. Anyways, what he replied to me is that these days, yes, Spider-Man: No Way Home was good, but it did have a dash of wokeness left over from the other two movies. MJ race swapping. There were Slothens, Ned instead of Harry because Asian overweighted, body type, woke boners rocked up, and finally Flash Thompson isn't really in this movie, which is good because it was a terrible race swap casting, and the other two he is supposed to be a big, powerful jock, but instead they gave us the guy answering the phone when you called tech support. And I replied back to this person and Zootopia, was that movie woke? Like, is there a commandment for Star Wars fans to hate Disney? And then this guy sort of kind of said, I used to love Disney and was super hyped when they bought Star Wars, but then when the movies started coming out, they were bad enough for me to completely flip. Then I see what they were doing to the MCU, and I see the live action remakes of classic Disney films I love, now full of race gender swapped characters. I didn't change, Disney changed. They have strayed away from Walt's vision of the world into this SJW intersectional feminist delusional deviant gender identity theory forced diversity for diversity's sake cultural Marxism. And then I replied to him that and would Zootopia be woke as well? Am I less of a Star Wars fan for enjoying things from Disney? Not everything they make is woke. And then he said that Zootopia is for sure. Loving Disney is fine as long as you keep it to everything made before 2010, 2000 to be sure. The Bob Iger era is shit. It's a shit show. And I replied to him that since he sort of kind of disregarded Topia, because it's a very meaningful movie to me here, I sort of kind of replied to him, you possibly haven't been in someone's shoes or have met a Disney fan at all. Zootopia and its fandom means a lot to me, just as Star Wars did. So I might be less of a human in your point of view, that is. And, I mean, he sort of kind of replied, a few days later, he sort of kind of replied back, what is this weird obsession with Zootopia? It's just a second-rate, moderately successful, morally computer animated like every other thing else these days, besides anime. Diversity metaphor. You want good Disney, you have to go back to the real animated stuff. And, of course, I didn't sort of kind of want to reply to him at all, but, because I was done with, chatting with him, because he wouldn't get it, as I sort of kind of, replied. I mean, well, didn't exactly reply to him, but had like the meme of the Joker, from 2019 saying you wouldn't get it here because obviously, people, I mean, people are different, in many ways, you can't always have the same opinions all the time, and that's sort of kind of the problem with, how the Star Wars fandom is becoming.
If you think it's just the Star Wars fandom, you're
Well,
it's more than just Star Wars, dude.
This is a whole cultural crap thing going on.
Yeah, it's not just Star Wars.
Again, I see what this trying to say, but like at the same time, I'm like a lot of and I've had people use this shit as it feels like they're pretty much using the term woke so much that it's lost fucking meaning.
Yeah.
And pretty I just want to say, like, just call it what it is. It's bad and leave it be.
Yeah.
This is no indication towards anyone who likes their writing style or any style, but like to certain people, certain things are going to seem like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I sort of kind of, after The Last Jedi, I sort of kind of had a little bit of a mental crisis here with, is it alright that I can be a Star Wars fan and enjoy, some things from Disney here? Because, I mean, not saying that I'm defending Disney, for any reason here, because, I mean, I do want to enjoy things from Disney, but, I mean, I'm not exactly, happy with the way things went with the sequel trilogy at all. Somewhat.
Okay, I'm not good enough with the streaming stuff right now to be able to just post pictures right now easily. But if I could, I'd put up my picture of my Tinkerbell on my DVD shelf.
Right.
I have the Tinkerbell movies.
And from what I've heard, those are good. Like
I like them.
No. Like they're kids in the sense of like. And again, you're the guy who's like a big fan of the Sonic movie.
Yeah, I like the Tinkerbell movies. There's a lot of Disney, current day Disney, that I like.
Yeah,
this is not anti-Disney. This is actually more that I see Disney is fucking up, but Disney is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, JG just died apparently.
Okay.
Did your phone die, or did you? His phone died.
I thought so because he said something about the battery dying, but yeah. But really, when somebody labels me as anti-Disney, I've got that in my gallery that I can just go, nope.
There's still plenty of film. Like again, one of the last films that I really
there's
really,
others
really
as well, but I find in being able to just post my picture of me owning the Tinkerbell films to be one of the best things to use to shut the fuck up someone saying that you don't like Disney, and I'm like, yeah, I own Tinkerbell.
I mean, there's a lot of potential that Disney can do with Star Wars, right?
Yeah. They just haven't.
That's
what it comes down to. They've squandered their $4 billion that they spent for the right to use Star Wars. They've squandered it. And they did that by putting the wrong people in charge. And those people that they put in charge made a story group that was cancerous.
Well, here's the thing.
It's a sad story, frankly. It actually is sad because it didn't have to be that way.
Yeah, no, it did. But here's the thing I'm getting at. We're talking about how their Star Wars shows, this is back what you were talking about. How they're specifically stuff within like the OT era, like the Star Wars shows within the trilogy era.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the Mandalorian, Bad Batch, Andor, Kenobi. All of that is like post prequels, but before, right?
Yeah.
There's no post sequel trilogy, the Wars show.
The only thing we have is the ninth. That's it.
Right.
You have like a few comics, a few novels, a really bad cartoon series, and DLC or a bad campaign game. That's literally all the sequel content you have. I mean, there's also those weird kid shows like Galaxy of Adventures, but they're so mine even gives a crap about them. My point being is
going to need to actually shut things down soon. By the way,
I know, but like this is my whole point. Like this era that they're working on, they're intending to lead to the garbage fire. They're not changing unless they were like they ran out a shit ton of money. It's leading to the fire.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm trying to avoid talking about because, yeah.
I'm sorry. I know it's probably a touchy subject, but that's like
no. I don't mind you talking about that. This isn't something that I see as a verboten thing. It's that, yeah, that's happening because there's other people that are like they're trying to who take what we're seeing and twist it to make it look like, nope, we're avoiding the sequels, and then you get the people who are like, nope, we're seeing things that are going towards the sequel, so don't care, and I'm just like, oh my god, nope, I don't really want to twist things and shit like that. It's so, yeah. It's not that I'm trying to suppress anyone saying what you're saying because, yeah, in my opinion, we're going towards the sequels. But then we get the other people that are going, look at this, look at these signs. We're not actually going that way.
Well, it's going.
I get it. It's the conversation is a dumpster fire on.
Yeah. So I don't mind you saying it. It's just
like here's the thing. Like, and this is pretty much why I think it is leading there. I have seen zero sign of a course correction. Show me a genuine sign, not difference, like a genuine sign that we are absolutely beyond the shadow of a doubt getting a course correction.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Oh, okay, I'm going to break my rule, and I'm going to name a name. Just because this is very relevant here.
Okay.
It's Doomcock.
Oh boy.
Doomcock.
and he's been saying that it with the gang that was writing the stuff on the wall. I don't see it as K's, but he sees the things that biker gang was writing on the wall as 2 Ks, a KK. And he's been saying that this is incontrovertible proof that they are going against her plan because the biker gang has been wiped out that was doing that. Now, I'd like to remind anyone who's watching that I actually really like Doomcock. I am a member on his channel. I love Doomcock. He's a great guy, and he cares about his subscribers. Love the guy, but he's clutching at straws with this. Straws. I don't even see a K in what they were spraying there.
Like, do you have Jules that's completely cycles an episode looking for the straws to grasp at?
Yeah, I'm sorry if anyone brings Doomcock's attention. I'll be happy to talk to him about it.
Right.
Honestly, I would love to talk to him too.
Well,
like,
I sort of kind of want.
not be disrespectful, just like.
Oh, I've actually talked to him a few times. Not verbally, but via DMs. Really nice guy. Love Doomcock.
Well,
He's a great guy.
sort of kind of want Star Wars fans to recognize that there's Disney fans here. I mean, it's just sort of kind of why I mentioned that.
And he actually understands that too. He's actually one of the more moderate, whether people believe it or not.
Yeah, even if he did notice that in him. He's actually a big supporter of Filoni.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doomcock actually loved this episode that we're talking about right now. He adored Book of Boba Fett, episode 5.
I'm subbed to him. I haven't watched him in a long time.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
With all the things that the people who hate Phantom Menace keep on throwing things at him, guys, he actually wants to like Star Wars. He
wants
does.
to like the new era. And again, if I'm just saying, if the off chance that I'm wrong and retcon
disagrees with me,
is happening.
I think that this episode was shit. Doomcock
of
loved
course.
it.
But
he loved it, guys.
Again, so, on the off chance, that he's somehow
all
right.
of you morons who think that Doomcock wants to hate everything Disney era, keep in mind, Netcat here thinks that Book of Boba Fett Episode 5 is shit, and Doomcock thinks that Book of Boba Fett Episode 5 was fucking good.
Dude, you should feature this clip on your Twitter page. You should. It might draw attention, but you should feature this on your Twitter. But again, on the off chance, like I'm absolutely wrong, and like it, according is indeed happening. More than eat the humble pie out, because that means that they're trying it. That means that they're trying.
They're trying.
That's a moment. I'm more than happy to hear the "I told you so"s and "I told you that." I would be so pleased to hear that, because then it would show me that they're actually making an effort to fix things with a lot of fans. Now, it would some fans because a lot of sequel fans would be pretty pissed about it, but it would be a good faith.
It would be what?
A sign of good faith. Like, yeah, we know we fucked up. We're making another universe. Like, the sequel still happened in this time, but now mine is a completely different one.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Two different canons.
What about continuing the legends though?
That's something I still would like to see. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I still would love to see it.
And that's a third actual canon, because
third.
So there's like going to be like 3. So there should just be like 3 canons just to keep people happy.
No, CT. My point is that if they continue Legends, that is a third canon. Because
the logic I've just brought up.
Because if they are avoiding the sequels using this, there is already things that diverge from canon, from the expanded universe. So there's no going back to Legends, just because you're avoiding sequels. So that makes a third canon. That's the thing. You don't get to say, just because we're avoiding the sequels, that we're back in Legends. You're already going somewhere else.
Right.
So so instead of there being 2 timelines, which we already have, this will make a third.
Well, it would when it would sort of kind of be better if it these sort of kind of helps heal the fandom at least here, or
I think it would go a long way to fix.
May I remind you guys about my monologue earlier about how awesome it was to have one universe.
One universe.
Oh yeah,
that was what made it so goddamn special. And now we're talking about making a third.
Well, I don't know how to sort of kind of explain it here. I mean,
no, CT, you're right, and that's the problem. Disney, when they did their decanonization thing, they actually shit the bed so hard that they ruined what was so special about the expanded universe. That's how hard they fucking shit the bed.
Well, in my eyes, the expanded universe does not cease to be, because
and I agree, but I'm just saying, as far as the 1 universe, 2 universe, 3 universe thing, the moment that that's a second universe, they shit the bed so hard that they cannot recover from that, because what made the expanded universe special was that it was 1 universe.
Yeah.
That's what made it special. And that's what Disney, he said, fuck this.
If you they didn't just say this to the EU though, they also said their own universe. Again, lack of see.
Yeah. And to be fair, I didn't at that point know about what Filoni had already done in Clone Wars.
I had to tell about that.
I didn't know about him having done that because I hadn't been watching it.
Right.
But that was their intention before he started making his show. That was the intention.
Disney's
And so-
intention?
No,
Yeah,
intention.
no, Lucasfilm's intention. In the
Okay.
Lucasfilm, and when they greenlit the expanded universe and talked about how great it would be that it would all be one universe. This was way before, or 2008. 2008 is when Filoni started making it. This was a decade or more beforehand. It took about 15 years before Filoni decided to stick his hand in. And then Filoni decided to go retconning is fun because he loves retcons. What the fuck?
He started even before he started back in 2008.
Yeah.
Because now all of a sudden Anakin has an apprentice.
Right,
To be
that
fair, TCW the movie was before 08. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was before 08.
Well,
it was 08. It was 08.
Was
The
it?
TCW movie was 08. Yeah, it did come
Was
out. If it didn't, then at least it came out in 2007. Like around the time Force Unleashed came out.
But my point was more that it came out before the actual series came out because I knew about the movie. I didn't know about the series. That's why I didn't know about the series because I knew about the movie. And every time people were talking about the Clone Wars, I thought they were talking about the movie.
I feel like now that if you did hypothetically, if you did watch TCW, it would just frustrate the fuck out of you.
Yes, there's the reason why I'm kind there's the reason why I'm kind of like I don't really want to watch it because I kind of know how I'm probably gonna feel about it as I'm watching it.
Honestly, my view is look at it from an outsider's perspective. Like, not look at it as part of the EU should be fine.
I'm already trying to do those mental gymnastics for current Disney.
So we can't really.
There's always Copnor.
We can't really try to declare what isn't real Star Wars, right? Or
I'm not the guy for that
CT?
discussion.
CT, I will never tell you what real Star Wars is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. However, that does not mean that I'm in the mood to decide whether I feel like fitting in Star Wars that contradicts other shit I know into my own Star Wars. You are welcome to like what you like. It is real Star Wars to you. That's fine.
right.
That doesn't mean that we need to decide what is quote unquote real Star Wars. That is a discussion that ends up with people being labeled fake fans. And I hate those discussions.
Yeah, I really have a problem when
yes.
you
So let's not discuss. But
let's not talk. That's
let's not
that's
discuss
a shit box
what,
I don't want to talk
real
about.
Star Wars is, because that begs the question of what fake Star Wars is. So asking what real Star Wars is actually is part of what causes people to start labeling people as fake fans. if you need to talk about what real Star Wars is, that means that there is a fake Star Wars. So just don't do it.
Yeah. No, I had a joke about this a long time ago. The only real Star Wars New Hope, all the rest is fan fiction and non-canon.
Oh God.
You mean like
that was
just one
my
film?
joke. That was a new
And-
the only real. The rest is all fan fiction. That was my joke.
And
I had it a
TT,
long time ago.
if you need any proof of my opinion on whether I think that it's okay to label people as fake fans or not, you know how I reacted in my Discord recently.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk. I don't want to.
No, but I'm saying do not question me about whether I think there's such a thing as a fake Star Wars fan. So just let that go when talking to me.
Okay.
There is
Dogs
no
lie.
such
Dogs
thing, and I will vehemently defend anyone who loves Star Wars as a fan of Star Wars. And if it's done in a place where I have authority, if someone calls someone else a fake fan, they will feel my wrath. So please stop talking about, is it okay to be a fan? Yes, it's okay to be a fan. You are okay to be a fan.
Anybody who tells you you're a fake fan, just don't bother with it. All right, just you know what?
And if they,
whatever, dude. Fuck off.
Right, and if they tell you that you can't enjoy Zootopia either, they,
Yeah. On Twitter,
That's
you don't
their
see
problem.
me talking about on Twitter. You don't see me talking about that so much because I don't have any authority over them. I'm just another Twitter denizen. Occasionally, I'll tell them to fuck off, but that's just another random person telling another person to fuck off. But if someone is in my personal Discord doing it, they're not going to get away with it. So I stop it. But just stop asking me what you already know. Oh, what I believe. You are a Star Wars fan. Stop asking me if it's okay. Yes, it's okay. And
we are not the authority on Star Wars. That is not the authority on. I'm not the authority either.
No,
but
I
authority.
I think you have proof. But I think you have proof that I don't condone anyone saying that you're a fake Star Wars fan. There's no such thing. The only way to be a fake Star Wars fan is to actually not care about Star Wars. The only person that can say that is you yourself, not somebody else. And if you say you're a fan, you're a fan. And please stop asking me if you're a fan. It gets annoying, frankly.
I know.
You are a fan.
This is that chat that's been a long time coming, CT. You know that.
Yeah. So for the love of God, stop asking. You are a fan. And I am kind of done with you asking.
Since this is going to be recorded here, I think we can definitely sort of kind of put this theme to an end here for sure. I mean,
good.
I'm just saying, CT. I don't need. I'm one of those like I used to need the validation. I get where you're coming from. I honestly don't need validation. To me, the EU is what canon to me. But that doesn't mean I'm disregarding everybody else's canon as unimportant to them. Like I'm not gonna say, oh, you like fuck you. I'm not gonna be like that. I'm not that. I'm an asshole, but I'm not that asshole.
Hey, sorry about that, guys. I got kicked. My phone kind of almost died there.
I told them they understood. They understood.
Yeah, no worries. And I'm going to be ending this pretty soon, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry, we dragged it out.
That's
would have made more of a blast if Joe was in here. That would be
I
very
know.
entertaining.
I expected Joe to be here. I actually put that into my video.
You know what? There's always next episode. There's always next episode.
No, I know,
we'll
but Joe is the one that told me that I needed to like this episode.
I know.
So
you know what?
I didn't name him in it
at the beginning.
But when I said that there was going to be someone that was going to violently disagree with me, I didn't name him, but that's who I was talking about.
Yeah.
You can consult him later. You're like, you made me out to be a liar. I thought you were actually going to be there. What the hell, dude?
I know. Yeah.
I did not. I did not want to deliver that news to you that he wasn't going to be here.
I actually linked that episode to this live stream, so it will be linked in perpetuity.
Yes.
He really kind of screwed you there.
And plus, this is being recorded, so we'll be able to hear everything.
I know that's part of why I'm saying it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
Well, Joe, I mean,
Joe,
Come on, Joe.
You really screwed Nat. You gotta apologize to him, man.
I was going for the rage bait.
Yes.
You gotta make this right, Joe. Especially next time. Yeah, next time we'll have to talk about this next episode. Because I know Net's been mean, man. So let's scoop this up.
To be fair, I actually moved things around a little bit because of the fact that I had problems getting my video finished, so I pushed things back and shit. So I don't blame them too much, but yeah. But yeah.
All right. This was a good. What were we talking about?
Maybe something about the Boba Fett book of maybe
something of that variety.
Okay. Well, have a good night, guys.
Good night.
All right. Later, guys. Bye.